Afternoon, and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Alderman meeting for the City of Fayetteville. This is the September 12th, 2023 meeting. Tonight with us, we have to say our prayer is the First Methodist Church pastor, Reverend Tommy Van. And also for the pledge, we have two fine-looking gentlemen here on the front row. They're from Ralph Askin School. They are both fifth graders. That's Asher Allen and Jake Pitcock. So if you guys will come forward, everyone please stand.
Let us pray. Dear God, we give you thanks for ordering this wonderful world. And part of ordering it, as in Moses, you created the law and you created those who are called apart, set apart to lead your people. And all through history, we see how that has unfolded for us. Even in the New Testament, we see where Jesus ordered those to be apostles, leaders of others. And so we're thankful for our elected officials. We pray for those who are elected and called to special duties through committees and the works of task force within our beautiful city. We pray that you would empower them with your will, and also in the empowerment of your will that they would have the courage so to do. Bless them, bless their homes, bless their lives, bless them as leaders to be a blessing to us so that everyone may benefit from their knowledge, wisdom, and leadership. We pray for the city of Fayetteville to be a beacon to others so that love would not be a stranger within our borders, that our city would not only look beautiful, but be beautiful from the inside out. That is our prayer. In the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Now for our pledge, guys.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Okay, tonight for the adoption of the agenda, included in your packet is the agenda, and are there any corrections? If not, the agenda will stand as written. Also in your package, you have the minutes for the August 8th meeting. Are there any corrections to these minutes? If not, the minutes will stand as written. There were no persons signed up for public comments, so there are no public comments tonight. Next, we have life-saving awards to be presented tonight, and presenting those is Chief Tony Kimbrough.
Good evening. On 7/28/23, the Fayetteville Fire Department was dispatched to a residence on Clark Avenue for a structure fire with possible entrapment. Upon the arrival of the fire crews, the fire department was able to hear a man inside the residence. After forcing entry through the rear door, they discovered a male patient slumped over a chair near the kitchen floor. The patient was picked up by fire crews and was taken to a waiting Lincoln EMS unit for treatment, and we would like to commend this crew for a fast action in saving this gentleman's life. I have an award here for the crew, and this crew's here. All of them's here, but I think one of them had another arrangement. He couldn't make it.
Okay.
First, I'd like to do Captain Brandon Gentry. Lieutenant Daniel Underwood. Engineer Kevin Mickey, he couldn't make it. We'll get that to him.
Okay.
Engineer Adam Radley. And firefighter Aaron Hurd.
Next, we'll have our reports. First was Fayetteville Lincoln County Library. The director called and had a conflict with her schedule, so we will reschedule her for another meeting. Also, Fayetteville City Schools, we have Regina Dotson here.
So it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Mr. Jones would be with you, but he is at a required mandatory meeting. So wanted to share with you our enrollment right now is at 1,205 students. We're very excited about our increase in enrollment. At Ralph Askins, we have 600 students currently, and we're very excited at the beginning of the year. If you got to attend Grandparents' Day, you were there with 449 other people. So it was a tremendous success. Also want to share with you at FMS, you've probably heard we've had some administrative changes. So we are going to be, the principal there, Mr. Bobbitt, is going to be moving into a different role. And so Mr. Adam McCormick is going to be filling that role. We're very excited. It's great to have an experienced administrator who's previously been in the school system and the program. So one of the grants that we've gotten that we're very excited about is we actually got a grant where we have, it's an SCG. We have actually implemented through the grant 3 social workers into our system. So in addition to our existing counseling team, we have an additional social worker at each school system through this grant, which is working out fantastically. Also at FHS, I'll actually be there all week, and at some point we're going to invite you guys to come and visit. Very excited about our Innovative Schools Model Errands grant, which is actually going to, you've probably heard several things about it. Mr. Dan is going to fly down again on Tuesday, but we're actually going to put a welding TCAT dual enrollment in Errands. We've got 100, that was through the Innovative Schools model. We've got $200,000 worth of welding booths, $140,000 worth of equipment, and right now as we speak, we've got the walls built. That's being actually put together and set up by the industrial maintenance students at the TCAT as one of their projects. So we're very excited about that. We are also going to be having on September 22nd, which is a staff development day, we have another grant called the Gear Up Grant. We're going to have 25 seniors, and we're going to leave on Thursday morning on a charter bus. We're going to go to a TCAT, where then we're going to take those students to Tennessee Tech. We're also going to go to MTSU, and of course, I would want them to go to UT Knoxville. And we're actually going to potentially have some of our former students that are going to actually be giving that tour. And then we'll come back, and like we said, all of that's going to be paid for with a grant. But those are the things. We're super excited on the update on the FEMA grant. That's in the hands right now. Of course, I know you guys are very familiar if you've watched the news with all the ongoing disasters that are occurring, and those are being prioritized over the status of things like grants. But know that Mr. Jones is in constant contact with Dr. Desjardins' office and also with FEMA. So if you guys have no questions for me.
Mr. Gina, as always, thank you very much for everything that you've done. I know there's been some issues at the Fayetteville Middle School, staffing wise and stuff. How is staffing as of right now, like with the teachers and things like that? Because I know there's some teachers that are teaching 2 or 3 subjects, just one teacher, and they're different subjects. Is there a plan to go by getting help there, or?
Well, it's not uncommon in order to capitalize upon your personnel.
Okay.
In that specific school, there's 240 students.
Right.
So it is our ultimate plan down the road. Of course, everyone knows that I'm a very focused on career preparation. We're going to be evolving to, and that's the piece of our ISM grant through the middle school, that middle school students will next year be taking CTE courses.
Okay.
So we'll be integrating that high school and that middle school schedule. So what you're describing is kind of a growing pain, but it's
Okay.
also kind of our deal of utilizing our personnel to the benefit of the best that we possibly can.
Gotcha.
But thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
I appreciate it.
And also for the audience, we have new microphones, so if we're blasting you out, we're sorry. If it's not loud enough, we'll do better, but we're trying to get used to this. So hopefully you can hear now. Okay, now for our standing committee reports. First up, we have Chief Kimbrough with the Fire Department.
Thank you. For the month of August, the Fayetteville Fire Department responded to 108 calls of service, which included 4 building fires and 83 EMS runs. And that's my report.
Thank you, Chief. Next is Chief Barry Pendergraft with the Police Department.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of August, the Fayetteville Police Department responded to 1,093 calls for service. We made 40 arrests, issued 100 traffic citations. We had 40 traffic accidents. 6 of those were with injuries. And that's my report.
Does anyone have a comment?
I did have a comment. I made my comment to both of y'all, okay, at one time, and Alderman Painter. To kind of show you to tell you what kind of employees we have and what kind of departments we have. I want to pass just a little something on, because we know this. But tell you how much I appreciate our employees in the Lincoln County Ambulance Service. We had a little issue with one of our family members Sunday, a little emergency issue, and it turned out pretty good. He'll be going in for some more tests and all, probably. But 911 was called, and the ambulance service responded, and the police department responded, and the fire department responded. There's no way in the world, there's no way, nowhere that we can have any better service. Absolutely. They was there, someone was there within 2 minutes, and it was a teamwork situation, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. When it kind of gets to your family, you kind of know.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate it. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Next up is Finance Department. Mr. Owens will be reporting.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, board members and the audience. For the month of September's report for the local option sales tax for July 2023, we received a total of $341,327.22. Last year in July 22, we recorded $312,326.81. So we had a little increase in that one. And our occupancy tax in July, we collected $17,833.67. Last July, we recorded $19,866.85. So we were a little bit down. As far as our finance department, we welcome 2 new employees. We welcome the finance director, Loretta Gardner, who is here tonight, as well as we welcomed Rachel Owen, who you will see in the front office. So they both joined the team. We were able to complete the fiscal year closeout, and we just did that as of July 31st, which was required. So we were able to do that. And the finance department is in the process of going through a software conversion. You may recall back in this spring, we were looking at moving from eGov to LocalGov. We thought that conversion would take place on September 1st. It would actually take place on October 1st. So staff is preparing for that process as we speak. And that concludes my report, unless there's any questions.
Thank you. Any comments? Questions? Okay, we'll now move to the Recreation Department, and reporting tonight's Commander Kobe Templeton.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of August, the softball field is closed. Our guys are currently in the maintenance phase. We have made arrangements with Mr. Plunkett to start the drainage pipe repairs. Once that's complete, then we're going to move on to paving. The pool is currently closed and under maintenance. There's currently painting going on at Stonebridge Park. The soccer fields are being used by Cheer Magic and the Lincoln County High School. Fayetteville High School is currently closed, but we're keeping the maintenance going with that. We've got a lot of changes at the gun range, made several improvements down there in the past month. Completed the Blue Cross Blue Shield's Safe Place grant. We're waiting on a reply for that to help repair Kids Park. And They're currently removing the exterior fence at Kids Park and S.J. King that was lining the road down there. That concludes my report. Does you have any questions?
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Kobe, will we know when the Blue Cross Safe Places grant may be rewarded, or is that?
It's just a waiting game for them to see.
I got you.
Ran out of ink. Okay, now for the Public Works Department, Director Eddie Plunkett.
Thank you, Mayor. Month of August, we had 234 ton of trash, 180 ton of brush. We're still too short. If you know anybody that needs a job, send them our way. And that's my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Planning and Codes Department, Director Christy Gentry.
Thank you, Mayor. 11 permits were issued in August. The total project valuation was $313,886. The total permit fees were $1,199. 75 property maintenance violations were issued in August. We did have a court hearing for 210 Lynn Drive on August the 31st. There was minimal progress made, but the judge did give the property owner 30 days until October the 2nd to get a contractor to help with the cleanup efforts. So we will go back to court on October the 2nd for this property. Attorney Hill and our planning team is moving forward with the condemnation process on the 5 properties that we had hearings for at the end of July. Little to no effort has been made on these properties, so we will be moving forward with the process. The CGI videos are on the city's website, FayettelleTN.com. They are located under the Community tab entitled Fayetteville Video Tour. They are 6 videos that highlight Fayetteville and what we have to offer. And lastly, the Keep Fayetteville City Beautiful team is hosting an informational meeting tonight at 6 p.m. at the Rec Center. We have several city departments that will be joining our team to talk about winter fire safety and the neighborhood watch programs. Ms. Jill Smith is also working with Keep Tennessee Beautiful to get our accreditation with the state. And our goal is to be able to go after some grant funds in 2024. We will be serving chili dogs and chips tonight after the meeting. And that's my report.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? And our city administrator's report, Kevin Owens.
Thank you again, Mayor and Board. I will start my report with a bit of good news. We just found out in the last 2 hours that we did receive the Public Entity Partnership Grant, and that was one of the grants that Jamie was working prior to her leaving. So it's a small grant, but it will help out some. And we did receive notice this afternoon that we were awarded. So as far as the animal control plan, I know everybody's concerned about what we're going to do with that. We're literally meeting daily. Yesterday, we had a big meeting between the Humane Society leadership, the mayor, both mayors, as far as the county and city mayor, to put in a plan to make this as a smooth transaction as possible. Everybody's working together, and we have another big meeting tomorrow, as well as one Thursday, as well as one Friday. So information will be received by the board as we move forward, as well as the public. So we're working very hard and got some days ahead of us, but we plan to make this, everybody has committed to make this as smooth transition as possible. As far as the Title VI, I want to thank everybody for participating to complete that. That's a big part of any requirements on receiving grants or federal funds. So I do want to thank everybody for participating under the leadership of Pam Gentry, who led that effort. But we were able to get that and able to submit that, so we can receive any federal funds if we are entitled. And we're working to our 2 major capital projects. We're looking at closing out and primarily just a lot of administrative work, and that would be with the William D. Jones. They're looking to start completion of that finals, as well as the Dunn Davidson project. And that concludes my report.
I will just mention on the Public Entity Partners Grant. This was a $4,000 grant, and it was for safety, to be used for safety. So I know that every department was kind of looked at, and the money will go to these departments to enhance their safety.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Having no unfinished business, we'll move on to new business. Item A. This is, let me get there, ordinance 2023-12. This is to establish an updated occupational safety and health program plan. Davey Bergman and Jack Williams have worked very hard with this. They have spent a lot of hours going to different locations to get this plan in place, and this is to approve this and establish this plan. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Mayor.
Motion by Alderman Painter.
Second.
Second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion? Can we call the roll?
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Motion carries. Item B, Resolution R-2023-17. This is a request to apply for the Downtown Improvement Grant. And I believe, if I'm correct, Mr. Owens, this grant has been applied for already, and this is just the resolution for the grant.
That's correct.
This grant is up to $300,000 total project with a 25% match. So the grant itself would be paying out $225,000. This is to be used for the facade, and then the city's portion is to be used for improvement around the square. Do I have a motion for this resolution?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Alderman Alder, second by Alderman Painter. Any discussion? And we call the roll.
Ms. Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item C. This is Resolution R-2023-18. This is a request to apply for the Tourism Enhancement Grant. Again, this grant has already been applied for. This is basically the resolution for the application. Do I have a motion?
So moved for Resolution R-2023-18.
Second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Alderman Painter, second by Alderman Bryant. Any discussion? Can we call the roll?
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? No.
Motion carries. Item D, this is Resolution R-2023-19. This is a request to apply for the Tennessee Law Enforcement Training Academy grant. This is a grant that has come out of the governor's office, and this is to entice retention and recruitment for the police department. Do I have a motion for this grant?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Allen, second by Alderman Alder. Is there any discussion?
Chief, is this going to be something that's going to be statewide completely?
Yes.
It is? Okay.
Yes.
Sorry.
And this grant also for the public, this grant will pay for the training at the police academy so that our local department does not have to pay for that expense. And then it also gives bonuses for retention of officers that want to come back into law enforcement. Vote, please.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item E, Resolution R-2023-20. This is a request to apply for the Walmart Local community grant. This is coming from the fire department. What they would like to do, this is a 100% grant. There's no match money on this grant. And they would like to use this money to purchase CPR mannequins. And then what they will do is provide CPR training to local communities and groups, employers. Anyone that might need that training, they can go to the fire department, set it up, and so this grant would take care of that. Do I have a motion on Resolution 2023-20?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Painter, second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion on this grant? Pam, we call the roll.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder? Aye. Ms. Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item F. This is Resolution R-2023-21. This is to accept direct appropriation grant in the amount of $500,000 for Count Blunt. This money will be used totally and solely for Count Blunt, but it will go through the city's finance system. Do I have a motion for this resolution? So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Small, second by Alderman Alder. Are there any questions?
Will this be anything that the city will have to contribute to at all, or is this strictly from the state?
Strictly from the state.
Strictly from the state, okay.
Pam, we call the roll?
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye. Motion carries. Moving on to item G, this is Resolution R-2023-22. This is interim authorization for ACH transfers for payroll. In the absence of short period of time of the finance director, this is for payroll transactions. Do I have a motion for the resolution?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Small, second by Alderman Alder. Is there any discussion? Pam, we call the roll?
Ms. Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item H, this is the Fayetteville City School FY24 GP budget amendment. This is just some bookkeeping amendment. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second. Motion by Alderman Alder, second by Alderman Small. Are there any questions? Pam?
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? Aye.
Motion carries. Item I, this is the downtown sidewalk bid acceptance. As we've discussed in the past, we had the bid out for the downtown sidewalks. The bid came in well over $1 million of what we had expected. So we had to go back to the drawing board, meet with the our engineers met with the bidder, and we've come to a conclusion that we can do a lesser scope. And in the future, we may have to obtain grant funds to complete the project. And it was, in the work session, the majority favored option 1. And option 1, it includes Main Avenue South. This is the sidewalk in front of Norman's Furniture. On the west side of the square, and also Market Street, which is the south side of the square. The amount for this negotiated price is $1,461,586. Do I have a motion to proceed?
Make a motion to suspend the rules temporarily for an informal discussion.
Second. Okay, the rules have been suspended. Any comments?
Got to vote on that.
Oh, okay. And we do have to vote on that. So we have a motion. Any discussion about suspending the rules? Pam, call the roll.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Motion carries. The rules were suspended.
You know, this number here, this is a number we brought forward, and I'm still with this number, so don't think I'm trying to do anything different than this number, because I'm not. But I think once we get into the motion and voting phase, we need to kind of know what we're voting on, because we're going to be voting on probably more than just this amount. And I think we need to be clear. And I think we need to be clear, we know where a certain amount of this is coming from, the bond issue. The other amount has got to come from somewhere. And I think it's been recommended from the finance that this come from general fund balance. Is that true?
That's correct.
So I think once we get to the motion phase and once we get to the voting phase or whatever, I think, well, I know for a fact, talking about this big of a project, just for the benefit of the minutes, to have the minutes clear, I would hope that it would be specified where each one of those funds is coming from, because they do have to come somewhere. It's just a matter of good records. It's a matter of good records. But I have a couple of questions, and these questions is going to be, it doesn't have anything to do with this amount at all. I think it has to do with procedure. And I guess the best place to direct them is the city administrator. The last work session that we had a work session on this. Alderman Small asked for a breakdown of all of this. She asked for a good thing, to have a breakdown of where these funds is coming from, how much it is and all. I've not seen it. I've not seen anything. I called her aside out in the hall just to ask her a question. Did you get a breakdown of where all of these funds is coming from to where we'll all be clear? She said no. Now this is an alderman. Now, she probably wasn't going to speak for herself, but I'm going to speak anyway. This is an alderman that asked for specific information so that we could be clear on where all these funds is coming from, and as we move forward, there won't be any questions about it. And we didn't get anything. The only thing we got an email saying how much is left in the bond issue. Well, I want to address that right now to Kevin, just so we'll be kind of clear here. So in the bond issue, you said we had, what was it you said we had?
So, excuse me. So in the bond issue that is allocated for this particular, the sidewalks, it would be $1,105,000.
I want to ask you about that. That amount is what you're saying is in the bond issue.
Correct.
So I'm going to run some things by you right here. Just to be sure we're clear on the numbers, because I don't agree with these numbers. But listen, unless we're going to be getting some money back from engineers I don't know about. If we are, it's going to be a great thing. We started out with $1,250,000 budget for this project.
Right.
Correct. We set aside 10% of that, $125,000 for engineering fees. Right. Come out of the bond issue. We voted on $11,860 for bid services.
Correct.
We voted on $45,320 for construction services. Well, when I subtracted all that, I came up with $1,067,820, which is about $30-something thousand difference. Where's that difference at?
That difference, and first of all, I do have to apologize if I did not get any documents. I've been trying to clear from the former finance director, even up to a couple hours ago. So we've been trying to clear. But in conversation with our former finance director, that money that additional money is supposed to be included within the bond. So I'm trying to make sure that what she has is the most updated one. So, but that money is supposed to be included. The money for the bid services is supposed to be included. It is.
Okay. On another question here, the numbers didn't match is the reason I asked, and there's no explanation to me why they didn't match. On another issue, I was a little bit concerned about here. When this was a bid originally, and it came in, I don't remember, 2.6 or 7 million.
2.6.
It is standard practice when you bid big projects like this to always have a contingency.
Correct.
Always.
Correct.
5%, 10%. I have seen 15.
Correct.
This one might have been 10. Was it 10%?
Originally, yes, but not with the 1.4.
Now, let's stay where we at. Originally,
Yes.
it was 10%.
10.
which would have been $260,000.
Correct.
So as we started talking about all these numbers, I heard all of this. It came through 3 committees that I'm on. It come through Public Works. This number came through along with some more numbers. Well, I asked if one be added, but it's out of the picture now. So this number came through Public Works, the Planning Commission, this number right here. It went through Finance, and it went through the work session. So we ended up with this number. When did anybody ever tell us that 10% had been dropped off and there was no contingency no more in this number? Why would you bid a $1,461,566 with no contingency? And probably need to explain a little bit what that contingency is for. What that is for, we got the engineer here, I know they know. Any kind of big project you get into, you're going to run into issues, problems. Things are going to come up you don't know about. It could be on our side. Things that we wanted, we didn't think about. It could be on the contractor side, things that they ran into that was unexpected. So you have a contingency built in to where the engineer and the city and the contractor can work through these things with that amount of money set aside for that. They use it in the city attorney, use it and maybe the mayor, whoever's involved in it, to use that. So you don't have to put a project off for 3 weeks or 4 weeks and come back to the board and get the board to vote on turning loose at $25,000 for something, because it would shut it down. So I'm all good. Well, I'm not happy it's this high, but I'm good with a 1.4. I'm good with that. That wasn't the option I wanted, but it's what the most of the board wants. If that's what most of the board wants, that's what I want. I'm okay with that. I am not okay with going into this project with zero contingency, because I'm going to guarantee you right now, we fixing to run into a bunch of trouble. And if you do a 5% contingency, you add $73,000 to it. If you do a 10% contingency, you add $146,156 to it. I would ask the board to think seriously about if we proceed with this, adding a contingency in this project. What I don't like about it is this. I don't like about only finding out that there was no contingency built into this until about 24 hours ago in an email. I was completely surprised as this number came all the way through. It didn't have that in there. It was left out. I don't like it. I don't like last minute surprises. I don't think it's good business. I don't think that's the way it should have took place. But I think moving forward, I would hope that the board would consider seriously about the importance of having something like this in there. And I think the engineering company, and I think probably the attorney or whoever, Mike could probably go along with that. So I do know that, when you add all these amounts up, if you end up with a 10% contingency, you're going to end up about $500,000 coming out of the bond issue, is about where we're going to end up at. I mean, not coming out of the bond issue, but coming out of the general funds, about where we're going to end up at. Time all the numbers is crunched. So I just kind of the reason I wanted to suspend the rules on that is I think it's better to get that out of the way before we get into the voting process to work. And if a board decides to go ahead with no contingency, don't want to add that to it, that's fine and good. But I wanted to clarify that difference of $37,180 in the number you had put out when I went to subtracting how much I know we voted on this particular sidewalk project. I don't know where there's another $37,000 at, because if 1.25 to begin with, and you take $125,000 off, you take another $11,860 off, you take another $45,320 off, which we voted on every single one of them, and you end up with that. I don't know where that $37,000 is at. I don't understand how it can be any more. We didn't vote to put it back in. But that being said, I appreciate the fact you allowed me to suspend the rules to make those comments. And I think that probably we can end up with a whole lot clearer vision of where we're going when we get into the voting process.
I have a question. With what's left in the bond issue itself, instead of it coming from the general fund, could the contingency money come from the bond issue? Is it a possibility?
See, I don't know whether it's really there. And once again, I am trying to piece some of this together in the absence of Jamie. So I'm catching Jamie to see whether it was there. And that was probably one of the reasons you were not able to get to the sheet, so we can't even get some of her stuff pulled up. So we're trying to pull some of the things to be able to best give you the answer. But right now, to be honest with you, Alderwoman, I'm not 100% sure it's fair to say yes.
Is it fair to say that the minimum coming out of general fund is going to be between $300,000 and $400,000?
It is fair. It is fair.
Okay.
Well, if you do a contingency, it's going to be more
It's
than
going to
that.
be more than that, yes.
Right, closer to 5.
It could be even
If you
more
do a
than that.
10% contingency, it's going to be closer to 5. If you're going to do a 5%, which is kind of low, then of course it'd be $73,670 more. But yeah, you're talking, but if you do a 10%, now that don't mean, now I don't want to confuse everybody now, but that don't mean that money's going to be spent. The contingency part is to there in case you run into situations that you're not aware of. It don't mean that you're going to spend that money. It means you've already got it set aside to take care of things that you didn't have any idea going to come up. And there's going to be some things come up that we don't have no idea about.
Just in
It's
case.
a safety net.
Just in case.
It's a safety net, that's what it is.
If my math is correct, if it's 5%, it's 1.5 million. If it's 10% contingency, it's 1.6.
1.6, that's right. It's close.
1.607.
Yeah, 1.6.
With about 400,000 coming from general
If you
fund.
do a 10%, it's going to be about 500,000.
Correct.
Coming from,
Yeah, we're already close to 400.
Did they take the contingency out because they felt like they were shooting high enough to make sure they were getting done, or?
So yesterday, when I found out from the consultant, I emailed you all immediately. Vice Mayor Bryan is correct. I mean, this is the first time that I have worked with a construction project without a contingency. So he did confirm that the numbers were given without that, and I did read it in the original numbers. He's going to meet with me tomorrow just to talk about all of this stuff, but he did confirm that those were not in that number.
we should have been told.
Yes.
In moving this number through all the boards, it went through finance, it went through the work session. We should have been told that there was no contingency in these numbers because it was in there in the original bid. It was in there in the original bid. We should have been told. We've been told now, so we know. I want to clarify that.
How many days are left to reply to the bid company?
So, according to the bid process, we have 60 days, which will put the last week of September. When I talked to Mr. Matthews and we talked basically about the contingency, the company will allow us to go into October with the bid, but technically by law, we have 60 days.
Now, I do want us to keep in mind, it doesn't mean this money's going to be spent. It's a safety net for the city and the contractor. That's what it is. But it really, really needs to be there, though. It really does.
But I recall that Mr. Matthews did mention, I believe it was in the Public Works Committee meeting, that everything was estimated high and they felt very confident with that. Nothing was mentioned about the contingency, but he felt like this 1.461 was a high number.
I don't have a problem going, when we get into the voting phase, I don't have a problem with the continue. I just want it to be there in case it's needed. Because if it's not, I'll guarantee you it's about a pretty high percentage in dealing with sidewalks as well as big drainage issues. And Eddie could attest to this, he deals with this a lot. There will be some issues come up that with that in there, y'all can handle without coming back to us, because you've got the funding there to handle it. The engineers does, we do, and the contractor does. Otherwise, we don't do that, and we get into $27,000 issue. You can't do anything. You've got to wait 3 or 4 weeks to come back to the board again for us to vote on, which will shut that project down. We don't want that.
Correct.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Okay, so we'll go back into session.
You
Do I
have
have
to
a
vote for
motion? Do I have a motion to go back into regular session?
So moved.
Before we do that, are we gonna do something to say up to a certain amount? Is that what you're thinking?
Whoever puts a motion on the floor, they need to, in my opinion, is this now. just
I mean,
my opinion.
I think
They
we're
need,
not for sure
it needs to be a
in that
motion,
phase.
it's a 5% contingency, it needs to be a motion up to $1,534,644. Or if you want to do it 10% contingency, it should be a motion up to $1,607,722, and that'll cover it. Does not mean that will have to be spent. It just simply means it's there. It's just good business.
Yes. As a matter of fact, as I mentioned, I've never done a construction contract without a contingency backup, so I strongly recommend one. But if the board would like for me to talk to Mr. Matthews, which I am scheduled to meet with him 9:30 in the morning, we can talk about that. From conversation yesterday, I think he was just itemizing, and he did not put forward, but you're absolutely right. For protection, we do need that clause.
I'm going to move forward with it. I'm tired of putting this sidewalk.
Yeah, I don't want, I say tonight, let's make.
Whatever we decide to do, I want us to move forward with it. I'm tired of this thing being put off as long as it has been. It just drove me up a wall. Hitting that William D. Jones project over there, I've lost half my hair fooling with it almost. So I think we should move forward. I would also think that it should be within the motion just where the rest of the funding is coming from. It was mentioned, Alderman Small might have mentioned reserve fund. This is not coming out of reserve fund.
I asked about that, I
Yeah.
did.
No,
But
it's not.
I would like to know where it is coming from.
General fund.
I'd like to see the,
That should be in the motion. Should be in the motion. Should be in the motion to come out of the general fund, because the reserve fund, it's what we call it. It's what we call something a little bit different. I don't remember exactly the terminology, but that's got about $4.3 million in it. We've never touched that since I've been on Alderman. It's grown the whole time. We've never touched it for anything. The word that got out a year or two ago that we'd pull stuff from reserve funds was not true.
never true.
We was not true. We have not touched that reserve fund, and there's no reason to touch it with this. That's just,
Where will this fit us as far as general fund?
I don't have those numbers. I didn't.
That's what
An
that's what I
estimate.
would like to see. I would like to see numbers from, if we have till October, I'd like to see some numbers from Jamie and all of this, and we can put this together and look at what we need to see as far as
I can tell you.
the
close.
amount left
I can tell you
and where
close.
it's coming from.
4 million. We got about 4 million probably in the. We got about 4 million unappropriated. More than likely, 3 to 4 million unappropriated.
In the reserve.
That's close. I don't have it.
Where?
In general fund.
General fund, okay.
Yeah, basically what we've got is we got a reserve fund sitting in a bank somewhere. We call it something else, but anyway, terminology. We got that about 4.3 million, and we've got funding that is allocated. We can't touch because mainly the bond issue. We can't touch that. So more than likely, once those numbers.
All the bond issue is already allocated, all of it?
Just about.
Just because it's a bond
just-
issue, we can't really use that as a general fund, because
Yeah, I'm
it's
aware of
going to be
that.
allocated. It don't mean it's allocated to a certain job. You could use it for this without any problem at all.
That's what I want to
And
know.
then, the money's sitting out there and somewhere and wherever it's at, more than likely it's going to be about between 3 and 4 million on the number you're looking for. It's about 3 and 4 million. That's about, I don't have those numbers with me tonight, but that's going to be real close. So I'm just trying to do this right to be sure we don't have any questions about it.
Any other questions or discussions? If not, I entertain a motion to go back into regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Bryant, second by Alderman Alder. Pam, call the roll on that.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Motion carries. Back to our item agenda, I'll entertain a motion for the downtown sidewalks, the bid acceptance, $1,461,586.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to move forward with that, with a 10% contingency of $146,156, 10%, and that the excess come out of the general fund.
Second.
A motion by Alderman Bryant, second by Alderman Alder. Any discussion? Pam, will you call the roll?
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen? No. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
No.
Excuse me?
No.
Miss Small?
No.
Motion does not carry. Moving to item J. This is to increase sanitation rates for the Fayetteville Housing Authority. You have in your package the Fayetteville Housing Authority rates were not updated in the last increase. After the director went back and looked at this, he is requesting this would carry the regular rate from $17 to $19, which is the regular rate for the general public. And if you have 2 garbage cans, the rate is $15. This increase will not affect the residents. It will come directly from the Fayetteville Housing Authority. Their budget year begins October the 1st, so they're well within their time to get this in their budget. Do I have a motion for this?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Small, second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion on this? Pam, will you call the roll, please?
Miss Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter? Aye. Miss Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item K, this is the Fayetteville Christmas Parade event permit, December the 2nd. Do I have a motion for this permit?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Painter, second by Alderman Small. Any discussion? The parade route map is attached to the application also in case you have any questions. Any other discussion? Pam, will you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Miss Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen? Aye.
Motion carries. Item L, Fear Not Feast Fest event permit is October the 31st. This event is at the First Baptist Church. The map is also included in your packet. Do I have a motion for this event?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Alderman Small, second by Alderman Alder. Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Miss Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have the Lincoln County High School Homecoming Parade permit. This is September the 29th. There is a map attached to this event. You will notice on there that the parade route has changed due to a high-profile case at the courthouse, so it had to deviate from the normal parade route. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion by Alderman Small, second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion? Pam, we call the roll?
Miss Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item N, Trunk and Treat. This is at the Washington Street Church of Christ on October the 29th. Map is attached, and this event begins at 5 until 8 p.m. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Allen, second by Alderman Alder. Any discussions? Pam, we call the roll?
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Miss Small?
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have the Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month event permit. This event is a month-long event. You will notice the teal ribbons around the square. Survivors and people affected by this cancer is on the courthouse lawn. And I need a motion to make this a month-long event.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Small, second by Alderman Painter. Is there any discussion? Call the roll, please.
Miss Allen? Aye. Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item P, this is the Senior Fishing Rodeo Event Permit. It's October the 7th. It is at Stonebridge Park from 7 a.m. End time is 12 o'clock noon. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Alderman Painter, second by Alderman Allen. Any discussion? Pam, call the roll, please.
Mr. Bryant?
Aye.
Mr. Painter?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Miss Allen? Aye.
Motion carries. Item Q, FPU appointment, board appointment. This is a city appointee. Per the charter of the city of Fayetteville, it's the mayor's duty and responsibility to make appointments to city boards. Some board appointments require the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, and some do not require their approval. I have duly notified the board of said appointment, which requires approval. The alderman's duty and responsibility is to confirm or deny the appointment of the person brought before them in a good faith effort, not the person that's being replaced or removed. I have Mr. Mike Keenan is a taxpayer who I have chosen for the Board of Public Utilities. And I will read a short bio on him. Mr. Mike Keenan is an experienced and proven leader with over 30 years of experience in the aerospace and defense industry. Mike served 23 years in the United States Army, all of which were as an Army aviator flying Huey, Black Hawk, and Chinook helicopters. Mike spent 16 of those years in the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, also known as SOAR, where he deployed multiple times to the Philippines, Afghanistan, and Iraq to support of the global war on terrorism. After retiring from the U.S. Army, Mike has continued to focus on the needs of a warfighter and is currently the Director of Aviation Operations at Ulista Integrated Solutions located in Meridianville, Alabama. Mike is the Vice President of Operations for Horsepower Therapy, a nonprofit veterans support organization dedicated to and the support of empowerment and enrichment of the lives of American veterans, combat wounded warriors, and their families. Mike is a member of the Fayetteville Rotary Club, Fayetteville Library Board, and is the chair of the Lincoln County Veterans Service Committee. Mike relocated to Fayetteville in 2019, and he lives on Old Mulberry Road with his wife of over 30 years. He graciously is willing to serve his community on the utility board. And with that said, I would like to appoint Mike Keenan for a city member seat on the Board of Utilities, a seat which is currently expired. Do I have a motion? Hearing none, we'll move on to item R. This is FPU board appointment for a county appointee. The same responsibilities are in place on this position. Mr. Nolan Tallman is a taxpayer whom I have chosen for the Board of Public Utilities. Mr. Tallman graciously is willing to serve his community. Nolan was born and raised in Lincoln County and graduated from Lincoln County High School. He then earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Computer Engineering from the University of Alabama, Huntsville. For the past 16 years, Nolan has dedicated his professional career as a government civilian on Redstone Arsenal. During his tenure, he has gained extensive expertise in project management, reliability assessment, and obsolescence management. Nolan is an active member of the Fayetteville ARP Church. He and his wife, Shanda, have 3 children. Do I have a motion to, I would like to appoint Mr. Tallman as a county member seat to the Board of Public Utilities, a seat that is currently expired. Do I have a motion? Hearing none, that concludes our agenda, and we will go to to comments from the board. Alderman Small?
Don't have any except to ask everyone to please stay safe. Not sure when Zach's last day is, but wish him well in the new job that he's acquired. Thank you for what you've done. Commend all the policemen that did a job well done and the rescue that they did.
Don't have much, kind of what Dorothy said. I want to thank Zach. Zach has been a great asset to the Fayetteville City. Also with these microphones, I don't know who gave you these ideas, but they're nice, man. And also for the fire department that did the things that they did. I want to say this. There's a previous mayor in this room, and I just want to say that over the years I've known this man for a very long time. I've looked up to him, and he's also taught me a lot of honesty. Taught me a lot of things about being a good person and doing a lot of good things. And so, that's why I come into this job, and this is why I do what I do up here, at least try to do the best that I can. And I hope the other board members can see and be that way as well, and I know that they are. And I want to thank you, Mr. Underwood, for everything that you've taught me in my life. So, also this Saturday, September 16th, the Lincoln County Fair is coming in. Yours truly will be riding in the Bronco division, so if you're not doing anything on Saturday, please come watch me fall off a horse. And luckily, hope the fire department will be there, and so will EMS and Vanderbilt Life Flight on standby. So appreciate that. Thank you.
Alderman Bryant?
Jacob, I saw you look in that direction. Was you talking about him?
Yes, yeah, that man right there.
Are you kidding?
Ever since I was a little boy.
He's a good one. He done come up here and scolded me already tonight before the meeting started. So he's still in his prime. Yeah, he done scolded me good in that. So I agree with you. We go back a long ways. I mean, I don't even know how many years we go back, but we don't want to talk about it, do we? No, we don't. But anyway, I've already mentioned a couple of our departments, but that goes for every department we've got. I tell you, we just got some great employees. They get out there and get their work done. They're shorthanded all the time, and they still get the work done some way or another, and I just can't say enough about our employees. We've lost some good employees lately, but we've got some good ones coming on. And everything's looking up, got some good ones coming on. Knows what they're doing, and I think we're doing just fine. Thank you.
Alderman Allen?
I wanted to take the opportunity while Miss Regina Dotson happens to be here tonight. She spoke a little bit about this, but to thank you for your work on the partnership with Aaron's. It's a great partnership. It's not just going to benefit the city school system or the county school system, but it's going to be a huge benefit to the community to have those classes offered here. And I just want to let you know that we appreciate you doing that on behalf of the city.
Oh, no.
I'll just say thank you to all the city employees. That's all I've got.
Good Mayor. Alderman Roger was unable to be here tonight because of work, but he did ask me to mention to the board that he wanted to thank the LPU workers that were on loan for emergency reasons. He said they've been out for weeks, but he did want to commend them for their work and being away from their families in this community.
Thank you.
Before you go on, Mayor, I would like to shout out Mr. Asher over here. That's my neighbor, and I want everyone to know that he's a hard-working young man. He works in that yard diligently.
Good for him. We're glad to have him here tonight.
I do have one more thing if you'll allow me.
Okay.
Alderman Adam reminded me of this, talking about the programs that's going on at the city school system with TCAT and all. And I've got a grandson that just went through that and graduated industrial maintenance, and he's in Huntsville working for Toyota. And I don't even want to tell you the money he's making at 20 years old. It's just, anyway, he's doing very well. That's a great program. That's a great program. That right now, that's kind of where the future is with going back to the working people and we need it bad. I appreciate it.
I also have a son doing that, and TCAT has been a great asset to our community. And so to see it grow, it's awesome.
It's a good program. I would like to say thank you to the county. They hosted the 911 program yesterday and did a fabulous job. Our fire department was there with the flags and represented very well. All of our city employees came out, and it's just such a great working relationship with the county right now. So, to see everybody gathered in good harmony, I thought that was very good. It was a very touching program. Congratulations to all of the firefighters receiving their awards, not only when they do an outstanding job like this, but on a daily basis, because all first responders, whether it is the street department, fire, police, ambulance, anyone, as the sheriff said yesterday in the 9/11, and Doug Campbell also, it's hard to identify the first responders because in our community because everybody comes out and helps when there is a time of need. So, but thank you so much to all those departments. Just to let you know, on a brighter note, that the autumn equinox is September the 23rd, and it's the equal number hours of daylight and dark. So fall is coming, winter is coming, and everyone get prepared. Enjoy the fair. The fair is September the 16th through the 23rd. Zach, we're going to miss you, guy. You did a great job. I mean, anytime, weekend, late at night, whenever, you were always there. So we appreciate everything that you did for the city. Thank you and good night. This meeting is adjourned.